will tell you right now, with respect to oversight, and by the way, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And your comments about data security, you're spot on, actually. So thank you. What's going on?
After this one or two more.
Okay. Real quick about oversight on these programs. There is none. I've been there 15 months, 16 months now. There is no oversight on these programs. The reality is that the members spend this money, we give it over to the agencies, we assume it is done, and unless a story breaks out in the New York Times, the Washington Post, or on Fox News, we have no idea. And the reason why this happens is because Congress has given over so much latitude to the administrative state that they operate on their own time, under their own purview, under their own management, and there's really no answers. One of the things that, I sit on budget committee, it's one of my 3 committees. One of the things that I've proposed to some of my other colleagues on my side of the aisle now, and they're like, I don't know how we do that, is you have to begin, it takes the concept of zero-based budgeting, but it brings it into the real world. Zero-based budgeting is essentially wiping out the budget, rebuilding it. I said it's roughly $4 trillion. Trying to find the right way to say this. I don't know if a lot of my colleagues can manage their own checkbook, let alone the federal one. So actually zeroing out the budget would be a lot for that. The reality is there's 20, they call them budget functions. And I have the data sheet from the 2019 spending year. So we have 20 different categories, functions. They operate through different agencies, different departments. So my proposal was, why don't we take the largest and the smallest, and let's say in the year of 2023, we zero those out, leave the other 18 alone, and then the relevant committees will go through the process of actually rebuilding those budget functions from scratch. Then, all these different departments that do stuff like this, they have to come in and justify their spending. And that's where the oversight comes from. If you just get a blank check year over year, but again, anybody you've ever worked for, if you just go to work, show up, your boss never talks to you, never checks up on you, never checks your work assignment, nobody deals with your work product, you never have to talk to customers, but you still get your paycheck year over year over year, the first year you're gonna do a pretty good job. By year 3, you're gonna be like, yeah, I come and go when I want. By year 7, man, your work product's only good if that's your own internal desire. That's the federal contracting issue we have. There are contractors, there are departments, there are agencies that get money regardless. Nobody's checking on this stuff. If you have a $5 million contract with the federal government, you're a rounding error. Nobody's even looking at you. If you have a $50 million contract, you're a rounding error. If you're a $100 million contract, you're a rounding error. It's only if you start getting into the billions that people start saying, well, what goes on over here? And it's typically what happens there, and I'm being specific, this is more defense contractors, then they go, well, we can't, if you cut our spending, we're not gonna be able to deliver. And the members go, well, they said they can't deliver, we gotta continue to spend it. I'm being honest, this is what happens. Pisses me off, this is what happens. So you have to begin to zero out some of these areas and rebuild the budget. I know we got black book stuff that you can't release, I know that stuff. But you gotta zero it out, you gotta rebuild it from scratch. And then you have to tell the relevant people, hey, we're zeroing out your budget. If you need that money, you better come see us. And we bring you in an open hearing. And then you have to justify what you're doing. And if it's sound, okay, put it back.